Hello and welcome to DPN TV here at the DPN Rover car collection, and I thought I'd give you a little detailed tour of our Rover 75 Connoisseur SE Maroon, or I think Copper Leaf as its official colour name. We haven't done a full interior tour on this one like we've done on a lot of our collections. I just thought I would do that. Before we get in the car and have a little look round, we've got the electric seats on this Rover. It is the Connoisseur. You've got the memory settings. You've got 3 memory settings on this, and all the adjustments. And if I just move that back, that gives a little bit more space when we get inside the car. And if I just pan out here and give you a little look at the driver's door panel, and of course on the driver's door panel you've got all the electric window switches and the mirror controls. So now we're inside, I just want to give you a little pan just across the dashboard from the driver's seat, and then we'll go a little bit more into detail as we look right at the interior of our Rover 75. So if I just pan back over and come down to the driver's door, now we're sitting inside out of the wind. As I was saying, you've got the electric window controls for all the windows on the driver's door, the front windows here and the back windows there. That little button there, if you push it, it will light up with a little red dot, and that locks out the buttons for the electric windows in the back, so they can't be operated from the back. And up here you've got your electric mirror controls, so you can go up and down, left or right, and these switches let you select which mirror you're controlling, whether you're controlling the driver's side or the passenger side. If we come down here, I'll just open the door a little bit there to let a little bit more light in. You've got what I call your light control unit, so you've got your sides and your driving lights. You've got your height adjuster. You've also got the sort of brightness of your instrument panels. I tend to not really use it, I just prefer it on bright, but you can do that. And this car, you've got your fog lights and also your rear guards there, so on some cars you didn't get the fog lights, there'd be a blanking point there. And if I pan down, you've got your bonnet release and also your boot opening button. So it's a electric switch button, not a mechanical one. You can push that to open the boot, or you can use the key, of course, on the boot itself. You've got your pedals down here, your clutch, brake and accelerator, and also a footrest. And in here on the central tunnel you've got your vent for blowing warm or cold air onto your feet, and you may notice this is actually carpeted. Now on later cars this become vinyl, but on this 2001 it's still nice and carpeted. So if we come back up here, you've got on the door a little vent there for blowing warm air to help demist the windows, and that's transferred to the door via this little hole here and this hole here that makes a seal and blows the air through. You've got your air vent there for the driver, and you've got your on and off little wheel there, and of course you can do the direction of airflow. If we come over to the main binnacle or sort of instrument panel, you've got your temperature there, your engine temperature, rev counter, speedometer, and fuel gauge. And in the middle here, down here, is your mileage. That's, you know, the mileage the car's done since it was new, but you've also got a little sort of trip where you can set how much mileage you've done on a journey. You've got your warning lights in the middle, and up at the top there is a little computer screen. So on some cars that was more warning lights, on this one it's a little teeny computer screen. And I'll show you that on in just a minute. So you get a little look at what that comes on like. And a lot of these centre computer screens, often the pixels go a little bit funny, and I think they have on this car, but it's still more than readable at the moment. That also does your trip computer as well. If we come over to the stalks, your column stalks, on this side you've got the button to access the sort of computer controls. Really, it's just a scroll through button. Of course, you've got your indicators up and down, and you've got your you know, your sort of when you flash your main beams as a warning or a thanks for letting you out, something like that. If I now come across, what we do is we turn the basic ignition on, and you'll see that the computer screen comes on. I'll just turn the radio down there. So that's the computer screen at the top. You've got your warning lights in the middle there, and at the bottom you can see you've got your mileage, your trip, and also there's a little temperature gauge as well, telling you your outside temperature. If we just move the steering wheel over a little bit and come over to the other stalk control, on this side it's your wipers, so you know you can put them up for setting 1 or setting 2, but what you've also got is an automatic setting as well, so you can actually set the wipers on automatic, because this one's got like a sensor, rain sensor. So more or less what I'd say is your pulse wipe setting on a lot of cars. On this car is the automatic setting. So yeah, you've got your pulse wipe, but on this it's really the automatic setting, and then 1 and then 2. So yeah, hopefully that makes sense. And actually it's really useful, I find that, because it kind of comes on like a pulse wipe, and once it's sorted out the rain, it will slow right up to a very slow pulse wipe, or go all the way up to wiping completely if the rain picks up. So yeah, I find that quite useful. I'm quite glad this car has got that. So if we pan back now out to the steering wheel, of course you've got your horns on both sides. There's no cruise control on this car. I'm not sure, I don't think the 1.8's tended to have that, which is what's the engine in this car, but you have got your radio controls, volume up and down, and also I suppose like the sort of menu button, mode button. If we come back up and across to the middle, you've got your middle 2 vents and your clock. So the clock can be set, there's 2 little dots there you push with sort of the end of a biro or a blunt sort of pin, or probably a paper clip, and that basically, that one makes the hands go that way round and that one makes them go in reverse, so whichever's nearest to the time you then set the clock. You got your vents on and off, and there you've got, I think it will work whatever the climate control's doing, whether that's hot or air conditioning, and the blue circle tends to let more of the fresh air come through, so it's sort of up to you what sort of setting you have that on. If you come down here, we've got the original radio in this car, and actually it's a really nice radio. I think the earlier ones had some really nice radios in, because they fitted into the double din sort of unit there, rather than it being a blanking plate and then a normal standard size radio in it. This one was quite a top of the range radio from what I understand. The only higher you got is that some had satellite navigation built into this unit, and the controls would have been there, and in the little computer monitor it would have told you, you know, which direction to turn. Quite basic compared to satellite navigations now, but it worked at the time. This radio didn't have that, and really I'm glad it didn't, because it would be so out of date now, it really wouldn't be usable. But this is a really nice radio, and I always prefer the original radio. And when we're looking at a car, obviously you wouldn't not buy the car because it didn't have the original radio, but it really is an important part if it does come with that original radio. And a lot of people say they want to upgrade it to Bluetooth or have sort of internet access and all that. Really, all we want is just the basic radio on and possibly play some CDs. I mean, we've even got tapes, so we'd be happy to play tapes. So that really isn't something that we sort of desire or are interested in. The standard original radio to me always looks right. It's a good quality sound, so we're more than happy with the original radio, and to me always looks right in the car. Below that you've got the climate control, and I've done a few videos on the climate control, so if you want to look back, I did one about all what the buttons do and also how you can bring up fault codes with this. There's a series of buttons you push and you can put it into a fault code mode and find if there's any faults with it, and also talks about some of the problems we had with our silver car. Down here, this often changes on the 75s depending on what you've got, whether you've got cruise control, heated seats, electric blind to the rear. On this one we have got the electric seats for the driver and the passenger, and we've got the electric blinds there. A bit further down, what you've got here is you've got your cup holder, and on this car there's actually only one cup holder. This is a blanking plate, and I think apart from the early models, that's what they did, most of them. That was a blanking plate. What I'll do, I'll just move this gear lever out the way a little bit and put it into a gear there so we can get a little bit of a better view. So yeah, most cars 75s you'll find you've only got the one cup holder there. Again, a lot of people make a big thing about cup holders and where they can put their cup and where they're going to eat and whether they've got big enough door pockets to put their sort of cups or bottles in. To me, taking it to the extreme, you really shouldn't be eating or drinking in a car, because that is one of the things that puts the most wear on a car, and we tend to really stick to a bottle of water and some mints, and really the only time you'd ever find us eating in the car is if we're at a car show and it's pouring down with rain and we've got no choice but to eat our lunch in it, and really would want to clean it up straight away afterwards. So cup holders to us aren't really a big thing. I mean, this is a really nice cup holder, but yeah, as I said, cup holders and places to put food really are not a big thing for us, but yeah, it's nice to have. In the middle you've got the cigarette lighter, and again there's something that's become more and more useful with USB adapters and charging your phone. So this one's got that, but it's nice and hid away there under that plate, which I think is quite nice. Under this you've got the ashtray, a really nice ashtray actually, and this middle bit can be pulled out. You just pull that over and take that out and you can empty out whatever is in there. So yeah, it's a really sort of nice ashtray, that, and it just clips back in like that, and I always try and be gentle as possible with these things. If we come over here, of course you have got your gear lever there. It's 5 gears and reverse, pretty standard for the Rovers of this era. I know they often had different gearboxes in them, but the layout, as far as I know, was always that layout. Of course you've got your handbrake, and down here you've got your lock and unlock buttons and your hazard light, and here there's a little button there you pull, and you can open up your sort of arm little storage pocket in here. This is just a pure storage pocket and a place you can put cassettes, and there's some little blanking plates there, so I assume on some cars there perhaps was a cigarette lighter in there. I know there was points for a phone, I think, and I think some cars even come with a little Rover torch, very rarely, and that's what those points were for, as far as I know. So if we come back over to the centre console here, of course you've got the lovely wood dash carrying across there. The lighting's making it look slightly different sort of colours, but it is a nice wood dash there. You've got this nice little pocket here to put things, and of course you've got your glove box with a soft closing. And if you come in here, I'm not sure you're going to be able to see that in this light. Yeah, you can. The CD changer is in our glove box, and we tend to carry a few spare batteries for the remote control, so you're never left stranded, a little first aid kit, and of course also we have the original manual, and that's just slid on top there, or the handbook that comes with the car. So yeah, as I say, when I was talking about the radio, it's more than enough for us. We've got cassettes, radio, and a 6 multi-CD changer that all work. So we're quite happy with that. Over onto the passenger door pocket, like on the drivers, you've got the speaker there, you've got the pocket in the door, just one button for that person's electric window, the door handle, and the little pop-up lock. And if we just pan along the dashboard and then scroll up, you'll see we've got the interior mirror, and that is the one that actually sort of tints at night time. You can see there's a little dot in the middle, and that is the sensor that lets you do that, and the big box behind is your rain sensor. So again, some interior mirrors just fitted on like a normal interior mirror with just a little sticky pad. This one's got like a big almost sort of oblong box with that sensor in, and then up here you've got the big main interior light. You've got a main button here to turn all the lights on and also to turn them permanently off, and you've got your buttons here and here for turning on each light depending on whether the driver or the passenger wants it on. Here's a blanking plate, and this is where your skylight or sunlight switches would be. If you've got a sunlight in your car, that's where they would be. If we scroll across to the sun visors now, again, some cars had the mirror in them and some cars didn't, and you lift that up there, there's a mirror and 2 lights. I won't lift that fully up so they come on, those lights, but that's what you got there, and a little pouch that you can put stuff in. Again, we tend not to do that because what happens is you scratch this pouch or you get markings on. It's never been done on this car, so we're certainly not going to do that and ruin the sun visor. And on the passenger side, the sun visor is just the same. So now we'll do the back of the 75. So once again, you've got the standard door card that was in all 75s, your door handle, electric window switch, and the speaker is in the door rather than on the back parcel shelf like a lot of cars and Rover have done in the past. I'll just let you pan in and get a full look at the back seats to give you a good view there, and then we'll get in and have a little bit more of a detailed look. So now we're in the car. There is the door on the driver's side at the back, and I forgot to mention there's also a little tweeter speaker at the top on the back door, and you also get a little tweeter speaker that lines up with the mirror on the front door of the car on both sides. So the back of the seats, you've got the little map pouch, as some people call it. Again, we tend to not put anything in here because what it does is sort of stretches and distorts it. Lucky enough, again, nobody's ever done that with this car, so again, we try and keep that the same. The centre armrest at the back in the middle. If I just move a little damp trap, and certainly if you've seen the damp traps in the car while I've been filming this, we always keep them in the cars to stop any dampness or moisture building up. Whether you're using the car regularly or not using it so much, moisture and dampness builds up in a car, and we think they work very, very well. And I did a little video once again on that, so if you check back through the videos, you'll see a little bit more on that. You've got the air vents at the back. Again, you can have them on and off and direct them. I think they tend to mainly only blow cold air. I don't think you get warm air or air conditioning from that. It's just purely to blow fresh air in when the motors are working. The car has got climate control right and left of the car, but there's no specific climate control from the back. You've got your ashtray. It's quite a nice one. There's a little button and it just comes out. Now I know on a lot of cars this changed to just an open ashtray, and it's like that on our silver 75, so it's quite nice to have that one. If we come over to the back seat, so you've got full headrests on all the back seats, and you've also got 3 full crossed seat belts, and your seat belts are there. What's nice on the 75 is that these seat belts have a little flap piece of material that you can pull out and then simply hide the seat belts away. A bit difficult to do with one hand, but once you've pushed it in there, that hides those seat belts away, which is quite nice on these. You've got the centre arm that pulls down. Actually, this has got this little bit here, which again seemed to be cut back on cars as they went along, but on the early ones you've got this lovely little strap here to pull it down. That's your nice sort of centre arm in the back, and if you pull this little clip here, up comes this lid, and inside you've got a nice little space, 2 spaces for cups and a pen as well. So again, a really nice centre arm there, and I want to get in nice condition on this one. You've got your centre pull through or ski hatch, so you can put long things through from the back. We've not really used that, and I would have thought most people never do use it, but it's certainly worth having. The back parcel shelf, you've got the electric blind on this, and a vent that runs all the way along the back. Again, the blind we tend to not use that much, but it's certainly something nice to have. We're lucky both of our 75s came with that, so we've got that there. You've got the back centre ceiling light, again 2 buttons to switch on whichever side you want on, and it comes on when you open the doors as well. And what I'll do, I'll just pan back now and let you see the full back seats. Yes, that gives you a nice little pan back at the full back seats with the armrest out there. And if we come back in, and I'll finish the video giving you a nice distance back look at the dashboard on our 75. You get quite a nice view from the back seat of the full dashboard. So yeah, hopefully that's been of interest to you. It's something that I did with all our cars in the early days of uploading on this channel. This was the only car I hadn't done a full detailed look at the interior, so I thought I'd do that just to give you a little look round at our 1.8 Rover Connoisseur SE 2001. Just a little bit of history on the car while we're here before we finish things off. It is a one owner car. As far as we understand, and when we did our checks when we bought this car lines up with what we were told, the car was actually a demonstrator car, or I suppose the dealership's car to show people for around about 6 months, and then a man who I think had just retired bought it and owned it the rest of its life till we got it. And I know apparently he didn't really want to let it go, but I think he'd got stage where he was just too old to drive, and a dealership bought it, and they had it for a time, and we assume it didn't sell for whatever reason. I think to be honest, they actually had it priced too dear from what we can work out, and that's what put people off, because it's a really nice car with very little wear and appears to have been very well looked after. What they did then is they've then got a smaller dealership out in the country where they tend to sell, I assume, sort of older cars, which this came under, and lower priced cars, and that's where we come across it. So it actually been in the dealership's hand for nearly a year as well. So I think the last sort of year of its life, the owner hadn't driven it too much, and then for around about a year it had been in this dealership. But again, it didn't show signs of just being left out and neglected during that time. It had been kept, looked after, water ingress hadn't happened, so the mileage matched up with that as well. So yeah, it's a little bit of history. Then we come to get it, and we're slowly, from the videos you'll see in the past and ones in the future, we're slowly making it the car we want it to be. So yeah, hopefully that's been of interest. As always, don't forget to look at some of the other videos we do where we're working on the cars or showing you round them. Of course, you can find us on Instagram and Twitter as well. And don't forget, if you've liked this video, don't forget to like it, and of course subscribe so you can see us do more videos on our Rovers, whether they're out and about at shows, whether we're working on them, or I'm just giving you a little show round like this, or perhaps showing you how the radio works on a car, how the climate control works, little thoughts and tips. They're all there. Just look back at the videos, and of course hopefully there'll be more future videos if you find this as an old video. As always, thank you very much for watching.